Hi there, my name is Randy McEntee. I'm a flame artist at the Department of External Services and a co-founder of Logik.tv. Welcome to Logik Academy. In today's video, we're talking about building your very first Linux flame. Maybe you're new to Flame. Maybe you're new to Linux. Maybe you're new to Flame on Linux. If you are, then this video is for you. By the end of this video, you'll be able to download and install Flame on Linux. We will cover where to find operating system and DKU packages, where to download Flame from, educational and trial software, and even some non-traditional ideas, like who you can call if you'd like Flame in the cloud, some resources for help, and even a few tools and plugins that Flame artists use every day. And thanks to Autodesk for sponsoring this video. Let's do it. First things first, you're going to need a few flash drives. If you don't have 2 or 3, stop what you're doing, go to the store or order a few, and you only need the 16 or 32 gig versions. Anything higher than 32 gig is a waste of money and not needed. The installers for Rocky Linux, which we're going to be installing today, is about 10 gigs, so an 8 gig might not work. Definitely grab a few, and having a few in your drawer is always a good thing. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the Flame system requirements on Linux. Scrolling down, here's a link to the Linux certified workstations. Currently, there are 3, the HP Z8 G4, the Dell Precision 7920, and the Lenovo P620. And that's what I'm installing Flame on today. This machine is an AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 3975 32 core with 256 gigs of RAM. And today I'm installing on an RTX A6000. Now it's important to note that first, on the processor side of things, you don't need the 32 core. The 3945 and 3955 are also good options, as well as the upgraded 3995. And also the 5900 series coming out are also supported and will also work just fine. On the graphics side of things, if you are fine with experimenting, you can choose other graphics cards. But if you want something to work straight out of the box, I'd highly recommend one of these cards. Now, the RTX 5000, previous to the 6000, and the RTX 8000 will also work. And also, most likely to work are the RTX A4000, A4500, the A5500, in addition to the RTX A series that you see here. Next, here is the link to the Linux installer packages and the DKUs. Now, Autodesk provides a particular kickstart or a particular version of Rocky Linux that's compatible with their software. And this is what we're going to be installing today, Rocky Linux 8.5. It supports Flame versions 2023 and newer. If you are looking to have maximum compatibility with older versions of Flames, you may need to install Linux CentOS 7.6. I would ignore CentOS 8.2. That's a deprecated operating system that's no longer actively being supported. If you want to use the latest and greatest, Rocky Linux 8 is great, or Linux 7.6 if you have to run multiple versions of Flame from the past. To download Rocky Linux 8, I'm just going to click on the ISO and get that downloading. Now, scrolling down, we'll need to pick up a DKU as well. A DKU sounds intimidating, but it's pretty simple. It's nothing more than an installer that installs all of the drivers and supporting applications that you'll need in order to run Flame flawlessly. So I'm going to grab the DKU 17.1.0 and save this. That'll take a few minutes to download. These versions are backwards compatible, so you should be able to download the latest. Okay, let's grab some versions of Flame, shall we? So I'm just going to sign into my Autodesk account. And I'll show you where we can download Flame. If you land on this page, this version of Flame here is 2023. Now it's really confusing because these are the main versions of the year, but there are updates. So it's really easy to forget that there are updates because you click here, download, and this downloads Flame 2023. But if you go to product updates, you'll see that there's 2023.1, and this is the one we want. So we'll grab Burn, Flame on Linux, Flame on Mac, and the Autodesk licensing service just in case. Now, I download all these and keep them locally just in case, but you may not need to. So we'll download these and get those going. If you are a student or educator and you want to download and install and license Flame for free, you can create a education account, and upon your account being verified as a student or administrator, you can have access to Flame for free. So check it out. If you just want to try a license of Flame for free, you can try the 30-day free trial. Oh, what's up, Lolly? You can download that here. If you are a member of FX PhD, you can use, I believe it's in one of their plans, you can use a VPN server to pull a VPN license of Flame. If you want to use Flame, but don't want to own or install your own Flame, check out gunpowder.tech, and you can email them at info.gunpowder.tech because you can ask them to build you a cloud Flame. Currently, they administer, I don't know, probably 1,000 cloud workstations worldwide. These are our friends Tom and Tom. We go way back with them, and they've been a huge supporter of Logik since the beginning. Episode, not this. Episode 44 is Tom and Tom from Gunpowder, and they're on, and we talk all sorts of things, cloud flames. Hi, Andy. And apparently, we're going to be watching more commercials for motionarray.com. Not sponsored by Logik.tv. So here's Tom Taylor and Mr. Tom Gentry, and we're on talking all sorts of things, Flame and cloud, and it's a great episode. And where's Mr. Gentry? Come on, Mr. Gentry, TG. There he is. If you're looking for a Flame to purchase, Logik highly recommends the Lenovo ThinkStation P620. Currently, there are a bunch of models in stock and ready to ship. This video was recorded in August of 2022. So check these out. CDW in the United States also has a bunch of options that are in stock and ready to ship. If you need assistance in your install, you can definitely check out the Autodesk forums. These are the only forums where Autodesk employees officially hang out all the time. Stefan, what's up? So this is a great place. What's up, Fred? This is a great place to get help directly from Autodesk employees, and this is the only way to get support if you have a free trial or if you are a student. If you have purchased the Flame license, you are able to sign into your Autodesk account at manage.autodesk.com to ask for help via support. You can also search for articles in the Autodesk Knowledge Network. Also, the Logik forums is this is the Discord, not the forums. The Logik Discord is a great place. We've got 404 members in our community. 41 are online right now. They're across the globe. They're usually someone logged in at all parts of the day, and they can get you some help if you need it. Also, the Logik forums is a great place to hang out and ask questions as well. We have about 1,300 members, and it's a pretty active and vibrant community. So if you need help, feel free to reach out. If all this is too much and you want to pay someone to do it for you, call Jack. Jack Horrocks is a Flame and system integrator in Australia, and his company, Flame Tech Services, is a friend of Logik and is a friend of mine, and he's helped me out numerous times. So give him a call or send him an email at jack@flametech.com.au. Once you've downloaded Rocky Linux 8.5 and the DKU, we are ready to get started. So we're going to use a Balena Etcher. Balena Etcher is it's a way of burning the ISO that we downloaded to a thumb drive. It's free. It's incredibly easy to use, and it is available on Mac, Windows, and Linux. So I'll show you how easy it is. We're going to grab that from our installer or from our downloads or documents page, double click on it, and here we go. We're going to flash this thumb drive from a file. Sounds inappropriate, but it's not. Click on here, and I have a bunch of these DKUs already downloaded onto my server. So I'm just going to grab these, and we're looking for this Rocky version that we just downloaded, the ISO. So open that. We'll select a target. Now I'm going to add or I'm going to put the thumb drive into my machine right now. Hit select. Click flash. Type in my administrator password. And here we go. Now it is basically creating a bootable installer on this thumb drive. If this isn't straightforward for you, something is likely just wrong with your thumb drive. I've done this dozens, if not hundreds of times, and it should work. There's really not much that can go wrong. Touch wood. The process is complete. Let's restart the machine. All right, we've successfully rebooted. And when the splash screen came up with Lenovo, I hit F1 to enter the BIOS. And there's a couple things I wanted to check before we start the installation. So, if you've never been in the BIOS before, have no fear. This is pretty straightforward. We just need to check a couple of things. I'm going to come down to Startup, then over to Primary Boot Sequence. And this is what we want to see. We want to see that the USB CD-ROM, which is on the Lenovo P620, it's the USB in the front of the machine. And I have made sure that it's at the top of the list in the priority boot order. Using the minus key on the very farthermost right keyboard. So not the plus or minus next to the 0 or backspace key, but I'm touching the minus and plus keys way over on the numeric field, and I'm moving that up and down by minus and up by plus. We're going to make sure that's at the top of the stack. And oh yes, the last thing is under security. We're going to go down and make sure that we are not using secure boot. So secure boot just not helpful for us right now. If it's on, it will keep the DKU from installing the graphics card drivers, and you'll install the DKU, restart, and then you'll get these crazy error messages, and you're like, it's confusing. So we just turn it off. Okay, now the machine is rebooting. Okay, great. We have successfully booted from the thumb drive, and I'm just hitting up arrow, down arrow, and this is all we got, but this is all we need. So I'm going to choose the manual partitioning and just go through this with you. Cool, we're in. If you don't get this far, then your thumb drive or the installation of your thumb drive is broken. And go ahead and redo that thumb drive because this should work 100% of the time. So let's just move left to right. We'll see what's going on. Keyboard, English US, that's what I want. The installation source is what I want. Now, don't get scared. This says Kickstart insufficient, and that's correct. And we'll fix that in a second. We've got some language support, software selection, KDump. I don't know what that does. While we're here, let's set the time and date, because if we don't do this now, there's a chance later on that when we try and pull licenses, it won't work. We'll just grab It won't let me do network time because I don't have networking set up yet. But just set Chicago as a time zone because what's up, Chicago? Ooh, while we're here, let's do a user creation. So I'm just going to type in my name. Okay, that's my user that I want created. Now, let's check out this rascal. I have 2 hard drives in this machine. And if you've never done this before, uh, I would recommend opening up the case and pulling out all the hard drives that you don't want to install Flame on. Now, I know for a fact that the NVMe drive that I want to install Flame on is a Samsung SSD 980 Pro. So I'm going to unclick this because I don't want to install it on both. I'm just going to install it on this one. I'm just going to make sure this is checked. I'm going to do a custom configuration just because I can, because I want to show you how it works. So we'll click done. Okay, now we have an unknown partition, which I don't know what any of that stuff is. Doesn't matter for now. But I do know that I have an existing Rocky Linux install on. So I'm going to actually on this drive. Yeah, let's get rid of this. So we'll just minus this. And this is very helpful. This just says for all partitions associated with the Rocky Linux 8.5 that's currently installed. So don't forget, I was on Rocky Linux. So this might say something else or be nothing, but we basically just want this to be empty. I'm going to hit delete. Cool. Now this unknown, I'm just going to leave that for there because I don't care about that for now. That might be my Windows, so I'm just going to leave that alone. So we're going to do a standard partition. I'm going to hit plus. And there's lots of different ways to do this, but we're going to do this the easy way first. And one day, if you want to change it, you can change it. So we'll do boot EFI, and we'll just set this to 1024. Add a mount point. Then we'll do another one. And Autodesk says that they want you to add a swap partition, which most people don't use. But you know what? Autodesk says to do it, so we're going to do it for now. But most people don't do this. And I just make this the same size as the amount of RAM in the system currently. And then we'll do one more, which is mount point is going to be root. Leave this capacity blank, and this will be everything else. So this is all we need. Standard partition is good, and XFS is what we want. So now we're done. We'll click done. And don't freak out. This is just a summary of changes saying all the things it's going to do. And if you follow the instructions, you're good. So you can accept the changes. One last thing, let's double check the network and host name. So the host name is VXF host. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to something that I want. This is a burn node for me that I'll install Flame and burn on. So I'm just going to call it DXS burn 1 because that's my host name. And definitely give this something helpful, but only numbers and dashes and letters. No dots, no illegal characters, no apostrophes, no Andy's Flame, nothing like that. And then while we're here, let's set up our networking. And looks like we're going to turn Wi-Fi off. And I have a bunch of Wi-Fi adapters. I have a bunch of Ethernet adapters on this machine. This is unplugged, and this is plugged in but not set up. So this is the one I want to use. I'm just going to turn that on. And then you'll have to set this up based on what you want. But for me, I'm going to change the automatic because you should always give your machine a static IP address. It's good practice. And for my network, I want my flame to be 10.10.0.50 with a net mask of 255.255.255.0. And this VLAN is my work VLAN. So I'm going to call this gateway. My gateway is going to be this is the gateway for my VLAN. And for my DNS servers, I have a local DNS server at this IP address, but then I'm going to fail back to Google and Cloudflare. So you're not going to be using this .169 IP address. That's for me. That's on my network. If you have no idea what these mean, just use this, or you could even use 8.8.4.4. That's another Google one, or another Cloudflare is 1.0.0.1. So any of these are fine, but this one is not one you're going to want to use because that's just for me and my network. So I will save IP6 settings. I'm not using IPv6, so I'm going to ignore those settings. Click save, and I'm just going to confirm these are right. And these look good. So I currently have this IP address, .50, and that's what I want for this machine. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to begin the installation.
A few moments later.
The installation is complete. Let's reboot. All right, let's see what we got. All right, first things first, let's just double check a few things. We're going to check networking. Cool, so we can ping Google. Let me just check that I can ping my network. Great, and my router. Great, that works too. Okay, now let's double check a couple things. Let's double check that our networking is working, or is at least set up the way we want it to. Yep. Yeah, every once in a while, this connect automatically button doesn't turn on for me for some reason. So if you don't have networking, just double check that this is set up and this looks how you want it. If not, go ahead and modify it here and apply, and you should be good to go. So let's grab the DKU. So I'll just make a folder on my NAS. I'm sorry, on my machine to access my NAS. So I'll become root first. And I'll make a folder called MNT temp NAS delete me. Cool. And then I'm going to mount, and this is a little bit unique to my situation. /MNT temp NAS delete me. Cool. So now I can change to this folder, and now I have access to my NAS. So I'm just going to grab the DKU, and if you don't have a NAS, you don't need a NAS, but you can install this. You can do this by using a thumb drive, but I'm lazy. And I'm going to grab my installer from the DKU. Oh, it's been a while. DKU 17, this is what I want. Okay, get rid of this and get rid of that. Okay, the DKU is really simple to install, and the DKU sounds really fancy and complicated, but it's not. It is pretty straightforward. So what you can do is cd to the folder. That's the DKU, and I'm just going to tar xvf DKU. So now when I list that folder, I can cd into that folder, DKU, that is just made. Now when I list that, there's an install DKU. And all I have to type is /install DKU. And there we go. Great, the DKU is completed installation. All we have to do is reboot. Now, let's just triple check that our networking is good. Oops. Cool. And just to double check. Cool. Great. Okay, so my networking right now is set up and we can install Flame. So I'll just become root again. And then I will navigate to my downloads folder. And same thing, we see the Autodesk Flame tarball. So I'm going to tar xvf, Autodesk Flame. Great. And now I can cd into Autodesk Flame. Great. And now I can install Flame. That's all there is to it. So Flame is going to do its thing. Let's see. Do we have a legal something? Yes, we do. Great. Thank you. Okay, the install is complete. Let's check it out. So a few things we can check now. Got some stuff to check out. Let's just add this to the favorites, shall we? Fabulous. Just to triple check, let's check the service monitor. That's great. That's exactly what we want to see. It's all green. You know, just in the setup over here, let's set this to NDI. All this other stuff looks fine. We'll turn on all the NDI just so we have it. Media storage we'll add in a second. This all looks good. Great. Okay. Let's launch Flame. Sign in with our Autodesk ID. And at this point, if you got an error message about your time zone or clock, that would probably be a good time for you to fix it. So now, yep, cool, great. All right, so now we've got a couple more things to do. Let's just do a test project. Let's create a temporary frame store. We'll create an NVMe RAID in a different video. But for now, let's just call this let's call it test stones. And let's go ahead and browse, and let's just put that into /volumes where the rest of my things go. And we'll hit create. Aha! I have forgotten to do something very important. I'm going to become root, and I'm going to chmod. I'm going to chmod 777 -R/volumes, which I guess I shouldn't have chmoded the whole directory. Oh well, we'll see if it works. I just need to create the necessary permissions so that I can add a folder. And if not, I'll have a different way of doing it. Why am I shouting? Project. Let's add a volume. Test stones. Browse. You know what? Let's create a folder here called P7. Set this path, and this should allow me to do that here. Fabulous. Now I can create, I have a frame store, and it's just a temporary one. I just want you to get up and running straight away. Never a good idea to use your local disk as a frame store, but in this case, I just want to show you how to set this up. Now we can create. We're going to create a new user. And I like smoke hotkeys because they are superior. And now we're in Flame 2023.1 for the first time. I'll just ignore this. You can just run free run. We don't have genlock facilities and sync, so that's fine. All right, so we are dangerously close. Oh, you know what we could do? So this is Flame, but I'd like to install some Matchbox shaders and get a few other tools going. So what we can do is I'll just kind of walk you through a few other things in order to get the rest of this working. So honestly, my first is to download Chrome for Linux. And the easiest way is just to Google it. And then we'll just follow these prompts. Once it's here, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. We want an RPM. Rocky Linux uses RPM type installers. So now we should be able to just double click on this, I think. I type in my password, right? See, does this work? Cool. 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 So now I type in Google Chrome in a terminal. I get my account, my user, and everything is ready to go, and I'm signed in. So I want to do a few things. The first, let's set up the Logik portal. Shout out to Mike Baglianti, the Mike V, aka MV, aka Motion Vector, aka Motion Vaglianti. Oh, why isn't there we go. So we want the Logik portal. I'll show you why. And if my mouse cursor looks drunk, I'm just still controlling this over a VNC connection. So I'm going to move this to the Python folder, Autodesk shared Python. Okay. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if it just took me there too? I guess it's not. Autodesk shared Python. Okay, here it is. Let's extract it here because I want to show you how easy it is to install the some other tools. So while we're here, let's go to my server. And let's pick up a few things. So I'm going to grab. Okay, cool. Let's grab here. All right, let's grab some more things. I really want. Oh, okay. I have the Matchbox shader collection there, which I'll just grab. We've got the Mocha Pro RPM. Oh, I want .9. Got Mocha Pro. We have Neat Video. The latest Sapphire. And that should be good for now. So what we'll do, just open up a terminal. Become root again. And then I'll cd into home Randy downloads. Fabulous. So let's install Sapphire, shall we? So whenever you see an RPM file, that's really easy to download or to install. Just type in RPM-I and then the name of the package, which in this case is Sapphire. And it's going to do its thing for a minute. And then it'll pop up with a little, probably an end user license agreement that we'll say yes to. And that should be good to go. Fabulous. Yes, we accept. Enter. Cool. So we will complete the installation and we'll enter a license later. That should be ready to go. Fabulous. That's done. Now let's do the same thing with Mocha, shall we? So we can RPM-I Mocha Pro. Oops. RPM, not RP, whatever that was. Let's do that. Mocha Pro is the same thing. Although I just realized I wanted the OFX version, not the standalone. I'll take both. So let's grab, oh, I should have just bookmarked this. Bookmark your stuff, kids. Okay, Mocha standalone is installed. Here's the Mocha Pro OFX. And let's grab the Matchbox shaders. Great. Fabulous. Now the Logic Matchbox shaders are in effect. And oh, let's do Neat Video real quick. Neat. Cars. Yeah. Cool. And whenever you see a .run file, which is what this is right here, so we'll just do a ./neatvideo.run, and it starts the installer. Fabulous. Yes. Accept. Yes. 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 Neat's installed. So now all we have to do double check all of our work. Oh, you know what? While we're here, let's grab machine learning time warp. So we just grab Google. I always forget the GitHub link. Ah, here it is. Let's go to the releases. We'll download this to documents, downloads. Fabulous. Insufficient permissions. Huh. All right. Okay, cool. I get it. All right, so now we've got into documents. So we're just going to go back to the folder I should have bookmarked 10 times already. Autodesk Python shared. Oops. Shared Python. So we'll just drop this file that we just downloaded from Andrei Toloshny's GitHub page. We'll extract this. Cool. So now when we launch Flame, we'll have access to all of our goodies. And I'll show you how easy that is to install. Fabulous. Free run for now. I'll figure out where that is coming from. Here is the Time Warp ML installer. We're going to unpack. That's going to do its thing in the background. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go into batch and double check. Yep, we got OFX. Yep, we have. Bum, bum, bum. Neat. Boris Mocha. Sapphires. Ooh, we even have Time Warp ML is still installing in the background. It's downloading PyTorch. Say that 5 times fast. All right, the installation is complete. Let's clean it up. And to double check that it works, I'm just going to grab some footage. Let's see what we got. How about, sure, dogs and cones. Oh, let's test backburner and caching while it works. This should work just fine. Sweet, that's working fine. Now we can right click, Time Warp ML, and we'll just double check that it works. Fabulous. So export this plate for us, and boom. It is working beautifully. If you have any questions or comments, look me up on the forums at forum.logik.tv. If you enjoyed this Logik Academy, let us know. And if there's something you'd like to see, be sure to drop us a line. I'm Randy McEntee, and you're watching Logik.